Hi, in this video we are going to start our JavaScript journey. In the first part, I'm going to teach you how we can display a real-time information inside the web page. So the main goal of this video is to display the time I enter the website. So whenever I hit a refresh, it will display the time that I enter the web page. For example, like okay, 3 seconds to 4 seconds later, I refresh, it will increment. But right now, we are not going to update the time immediately. This will be done in the second video. But first thing, I want to show you how JavaScript can display the immediate information inside the web page. So the first thing is we go back to our HTML, and first thing first, in order to display the page, the thing current time and also the exact time, we have to add an HTML element. So let's add a paragraph called current time. Okay, we save it, come back here, and in this, right now we already see we add a paragraph with current time in it. But for the dynamic content, we want to give a span. A span is just an empty space with an ID current time. So remember, ID is for us to reference back the HTML elements that we want to modify or we want to access. So span ID span is now an empty string. We don't have anything over here. So our goal is to use JavaScript to update the span with ID current time with the time, right? So if we save it, go back to the page, we hit refresh, we cannot see anything because now the span is empty, remember, right? So now let's go back to the HTML file, and now we are going to add real JavaScript code. In order to add JavaScript code, you have to use the HTML tag script, S-C-R-I-P-T, and then within here you put all your JavaScript related code in it. So in order for the script to be run when the document is ready, we have to add an event listener. So document.add event listener, and then the event's name. The event's name is DOM content loaded. For now, you just need to follow it. After I type the whole thing, I will explain it line by line. Okay, so let me test it a bit first. Okay, so from here, we define a script which when the document is correctly loaded, when the document receives an event that the document already loaded. So this is the name of the events that we want to track. And at the end of this part, the second part is the thing that we want to run when the document is correctly loaded. So in these 3 lines, that means when the document is correctly loaded, I will run a function that gives me an alert saying that the document is loaded. Okay, so let me save it, come back and hit refresh, and then the page says document is loaded. So these three words is exactly what I type inside. So that means when the document is correctly loaded, it will alert me with this line. Okay, so now let's move on to the things that we really want to do. So the first thing is we want to access the part that we want to update. How to do this in JavaScript? In JavaScript, we have a function called the document.getElementById. Okay, so we give the name of the ID, which is current time, and then this line will return the element, the element for us to access the span here. In the element, we have another function called the inner HTML. You can specify saying, okay, document get element by ID current time inner HTML is the document is loaded. Document is loaded. So when you go back, hit refresh, you can see originally our span is empty. Our span is empty, and then right now when we hit refresh, when the document is correctly loaded, it will run the function get elements by ID and then set the inner HTML to whatever text I want to display. So that means in order to finish this, in order to display the time, we just have to dynamically make a text which can represent the time at the current time, right? So the idea is I need to compose this with dynamic data. So how to do this? In JavaScript, we define a variable with var and then the name of the variable, current date, and then the thing that you specify in it, that you store in the variable. So in JavaScript, if we say, okay, current date is 123, then 123 will be stored in current date, So if we assign current time elements inner HTML with the variable current date, which is 123, if we go back to the page, we hit refresh, we will see the value inside the variable current date is assigned to the inner HTML, which is 123. So our idea is we want to assign the correct date time into the inner HTML. So in JavaScript, if we want to if we want to get the current date, we have to do new date. So this one new date will immediately give us the current timestamp, of the HTML file of your computer. So if we save it, go back to our page, and then we hit refresh, we can see the current time is Wednesday, September 26th, and then in the afternoon 2:35 in 33rd seconds I enter this page, and if I hit refresh again will be 47, and I hit refresh will be 50. So now the main goal is already, we are quite near to the main goal. We just need to polish it a bit, right? So of course you can stop at this moment, but at the same time we still want to improve our websites, right? So in order to do this, we want to polish the variable we put into it. So what we want to do is from the current date, first I want to get the hours. Value. So for now the hours value is 2 p.m. It should be a 14th, right? So if we save it and then hit refresh, we can see 14 is displayed. We can see 14 is displayed. So this is the idea of a current date, get hours. And the next thing is, apart from the hours, we want to also get the minutes, right? So the next function we want to use is get minutes. So right now, we change the inner HTML from the whole current state to current state get the hours plus colon plus current date get the minutes. So this three part, the first part, the second part, and the third part will concatenate together. Now we save it. Go back to the page, hit refresh. We can see the minutes part is already in. So the last part is the second part, right? The part to display the seconds. So it's pretty intuitive, and I guess you already know how we can do this. We can do current date and then get seconds. Get seconds. So we save it. We put it here. Now, when we enter the page, it will immediately display the computer time. And whenever we hit refresh again, it will keep updating. So this is the idea how we can use JavaScript to display some dynamic data in it.